What is up, YouTube? This is Kyan Cannon from Arguably Georgia Sports, and today we're going to be recapping the Super Bowl. And for us Atlanta fans, it was a very disappointing one. If you don't know, I'm sure you do. We blew a huge lead, and so let's just get right into some of the statistics and talk about mention our opinions.
Okay, so you're looking at it early, right? At the beginning, it's kind of a slow game. Coming into the second quarter. Atlanta is just on fire. I mean, they look unstoppable. And then in the third quarter, when New England scores a touchdown and then they miss the extra point, Atlanta feels like they can't lose. So what happened here?
I just think they got overconfident and thought the game was over. That's really all you can say. I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't have won this game. They didn't run the. Did you know that after they went up 28-3, they ran the ball 5 times?
Which was a big problem.
5 times.
But that is the I think it was mainly on the play calling after. But I mean also the players thinking they had already won it. Matt Ryan taking that one sack. If he could have thrown it away, that would have been great. And they could have kicked the field goal. There you go. Or that holding call right there. And, I mean, there were just like 3 or 4 things that if one of them didn't happen perfectly in line for the Patriots, I mean, the Falcons would have won. And it was just extremely perfect scenario.
Well, I mean, take
for them.
away like Julio's catch or something, the Patriots could have won without even overtime. So it's
Definitely, yeah.
ways.
Well, yeah, that's true. And then Atlanta, though, had 284 passing yards, and they had 17 completed pass out of 23. That's, I mean, obviously very good. And 5 sacks. So, I mean, the passing game was pretty good in this for both sides because the Patriots obviously had 446 passing yards.
66.
So, I mean, it's just really great by both teams. Very offensive game.
Well, not. I won't say that. I mean, the Falcons had the pick 6. There were a lot of turnovers that ended up in scores. I think that this game mainly came down to defense, actually, because you look at without those turnovers, this is a completely different game. Especially and including the strip sack, that was huge, and especially for the Patriots' momentum. I mean, you go from the Falcons starting out a drive and possibly going down and scoring again, to really the Patriots having the ball in striking distance. So I think that was one of the biggest factors.
And another thing is, I just don't think the Falcons were mentally prepared. I think that was the only thing. I think they weren't mentally prepared.
They were totally mentally prepared. You look at how they came out. Mentally prepared is going to help you when you come out, but there's going to be adjustments at halftime. Do I think that happened after half? Yes, but not to start the game.
And I mean, even coming out of halftime, they looked good. The Patriots really didn't adjust until the fourth quarter, and that was when they caught fire. But I mean, I was in watching it. I thought even when the Patriots were just 1 score away, that there was no way it was still going to happen, because if they scored, they would have to get the 2-point conversion, and then
It shouldn't be that hard.
at best they would only be tied. So I really thought that it was still the Falcons' game. All they needed to get was a field goal, and they weren't able to do that, which was. But I mean, on the Patriots side of it, that was a great game. Well, it was a great game for both of us.
I mean, the rushing game was decent for both teams. That's something I'd like to point out. I mean, I was really happy how we held the Patriots on the ground, how we held LeGarrette Blount to almost nothing. He averaged 2.9 yards a carry, I think. But that's where the 3-headed monster comes in of James White, Dion Lewis, and LeGarrette Blount. I mean, you can't stop. Maybe you can stop one of them, but you can't stop all of them, and they're eventually going to rack up some big numbers.
So very disappointed Falcons fans all over the country, but the good thing is for the Falcons going into next year, they're going to have momentum, and they're going to have a bigger fan base, a bigger stadium. More people will go to the games. I think the first 5 games or something are already sold out.
That's not true, actually.
And
They're not even on sale yet. But what they don't have is Kyle Shanahan.
that is a
That
factor.
is, I think, going to be a huge.
And I'm just wondering if that will majorly affect them. And that's the thing coming into next year. If they'll be fine anyway. If it won't really affect them, then I think that they could have a very good chance to win the Super Bowl next year. But because they're not losing any players.
I think the big question is this just a 1-year thing? Because Matt Ryan absolutely exploded and wins the MVP. We haven't seen anything like this for the other part of his career. I mean, he was good, but he was never a first-tier quarterback. Can he maintain this? That's my question. If he can maintain this, I totally agree with you. If he can, I don't think we can go the distance just like any other year. But if he can, we'll see.
Yeah, so it'll be really interesting to see what happens next year. I mean, people are calling it the greatest Super Bowl ever. So, hope you had fun watching the game, and this too. And as always, but not really as always, bye.